Welcome to our live stream. Let's make sure that we are live here. Oop. How do we hear everyone? Hello, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Let's see, we're trying to fix something here. One second. Ladies and gentlemen. One second here. Whoa. See if we could delete it. Alright, guys, we're going to pretend that video never happened. I hope all is well. We're doing a new video here. Live with Gres. We try to do this once a week, and unfortunately, sometimes things do come up where you're not able to do it. But that is the game plan, to do it once every week. Just talking about pop culture, random life stuff, just everyday occurrences. And I thank you for subscribing. It means a lot. The channel, which I'm up to 400 and something subscribers. Might say that's not a lot, but that is a lot for me, and it means a lot. While I'm on the topic here of subscribers, did get a new vlogging camera, which I thought is pretty cool. Let me show you that. As you could probably see it, this is supposedly the best vlogging camera in all the world. It was voted as the best vlogging camera, and this is a Sony ZV-10, I believe it is. The picture is clear as all day. It's a very clear picture, very clear shot. Let's see if we could. You can see this is a clear shot. 4K, magnificento. You can see the camera here. Um, that is the game plan here. To you will see some. I have, truth be told, I have a few videos already um, in storage that are waiting to be uploaded. Um, Majority of these videos were uploaded quite some time ago, uh, but and they were used off of a how I did my videos was I used them off of a recorded them off of a Android camera, which I believe it was an Android Edge. I believe that one that I use is an 8. It's an old phone. Just used it for a camera. And, and I used a regular old school camera like this. This is the actual camera that I use as well. So a lot of those videos came from a camera like this, and they came from this cell phone actually. But I realized that it's time to step up the game here. So you're gonna see a sprinkling of some of the newer videos with the vlogging camera, and then you will, still see some videos with the older way of how I used to record them. So don't be alarmed. I have to get the old videos out and published as well. So you're going to see a mixture of new and improved videos with the new camera. That camera, by the way, is no pretty penny either. It costs about $700, believe it or not. So that is a pretty size chunk of change that you're paying for the camera there. So we we'll see that camera. I use that camera more on. I have another. Actually, truth be told, I have another 2 active channels and a third one which I'm trying to bring back to life. So with those channels, I really don't. Those videos on those channels, I really don't have videos in storage. So you probably would see the quality of that video on those channels. Actually, if I'm thinking about it, actually the video that says Dutch Wonderland was actually done by the that camera that you just seen, which is on this channel. So you could look at that. If you watch that video, you see the quality of the video. But yeah, that's some of that. So a new camera is coming, which you'll be seeing incorporated onto this channel. And again, we're covering a lot of pop culture stuff. New York City crime, if you noticed, like mob life, famous mobsters. Done a few videos already. And there's still actually a lot of places that you could go to. So, mobsters, mob life, filming locations. I have a few that I did not put out there that are waiting to go. Also, you have a lot of crime locations, that I like to cover here. I did the Son of Sam. I did the the killer from East Meadow. I did Robert Shulman actually as well from Hicksville, Long Island. The Katie Beers story I covered here as well. So we do a lot of that stuff. So if you're into that, type of stuff, and a lot of pop culture and a lot of random things here and there, and you see a lot of like more family orientated vlogs, like for example, you know, Dutch Wonderland that I did here, which I really did not speak much, just kind of filmed everything as it was happening. So you might see those occasionally, and you might see just family vlogs going to places if I find it interesting. So the channel is pretty much a smorgasbord of everything, and it's something that I like doing. Um, and with this live coming in live every once in a while, it's just following up with you guys and just kind of telling you how my week was, and fun things I think to go over and just kind of talk aloud. Wanted to I have to definitely mention it because how can you not? Obviously, September 11th, 9/11. I put up a video there a couple of days ago on the day after 9/11, and it was of a lot of 9/11 memorials around my neck of the woods here. Um, Everyone, my generation, 40 years old, a lot of us know where we were on 9/11. Um, Same as like for our parents' generation or the generation before us. Everyone knows where they were where Kennedy passed away, right? So these are life moments, life instances where we can't escape. We know where we were, what we were doing, every moment of that day, or every minute of that day. Um, so I did. Then, being that I live in the area of the New York City metropolitan area, which is literally time-wise, geez, I don't know. Time-wise, getting down to the World Trade Center from where I live. If there's no traffic, you could probably get there in 20 to 30 minutes, right? 20 to 30 minutes. So it's that quick. And I posted a video last year where I was walking in the park and kind of explained my story where I was 9/11. Obviously, not that I'm important at all, but I just wanted to kind of document and kind of have it in audio form. Not that it's something that you would ever forget, but where I was. And very briefly, where I was is I was going to. That was. Let's see. That was second. Wait, that was second. Yeah, that was second year of college. My college was located in Brooklyn, in Brooklyn Heights, there by the bridge. So it was, a hop and a skip away from the World Trade Center. And I remember, obviously, it was a Tuesday, clear, crisp day. I just got off. I got off the A train. I was headed up Remsen to the college, but on the way to Remsen to the college, you're crossing over. I believe it's and the street's kind of. I believe it was Court Street. where you're able to see the World Trade Center. You're able to see in the Brooklyn Bridge. So everything is like right there. Like I could literally, from where my school was, where my college was, to where World Trade Center was, it was just a matter of walking over the bridge. I'd probably tell you 5 miles, maybe 8, maybe not more than 10. But anyway, as I'm walking over the bridge, um, if that class was, that class I believe was an 8:45 class. 8:45. Um, so I believe I was on time. I believe it was at 8:45. I'm walking, or around 8:50, maybe closer to 9, and I was walking, and I remember just looking at it, and it seemed cloudy. It seemed like you could definitely see smoke, but there were people that took the subway with me, and we were all crossing Court Street, and we're looking, and we did not think much of it. We continued to go about our day, or at least go to where we were going to go, and I continued to school. I went to school, and my class, that first class, was an hour and a half class, and that first class was an elective class. Believe it or not, it was an elective on Islam, the religion Islam, and the class was in the very depths, the very bottoms of the school library, like second floor basement library, and you know there really you cannot hear the cell phones back then. Pretty much no one really had a cell phone. I think there were Blackberries, but those were far and few between. Like, cell phones weren't popular. I believe I did have a cell phone at that point. I definitely did, because it was. I remember I was working at Staples, but yeah, I definitely had a cell phone then. But the cell phones were in the primitive. This is the stage, and the cell phones weren't working, especially if you're down in the depths of the school library basement having a class. And there were no windows in that class, because again, it was in the library, and the reason why it was in the library is because the college was expanding; they were growing bigger. And I remember we just went through that class. The teacher normally gave a lesson. We come back out, and I'm just shocked to find that the school's pretty much empty. Everyone had left or was outside, just trying to get a hold of people, and that's when you found out that's when you found out what happened about the severity, and it's just a really so weird, so odd, so scary, and everyone had left already. The school was deserted. So I remember asking, like, is class still on? And like, no, like, everyone, school was canceled, but no more classes, and we didn't hear anything because we're in the basement. I think they had let out the school even earlier, and we were just forgotten because we were down there. And I just remember just we tried to, or I tried to catch. You couldn't take the subway. Like, the subways were closed, obviously, because no one knew what was going on. and the subways weren't a good idea. Um, the the buses, we tried grabbing buses. So I'm gonna say so. It was a bunch of us that needed to get home. Right, everyone needed to get home. Public transportation wasn't working. We tried grabbing the bus. Buses were full. Weren't even making stops, just going straight. And then after a while, you didn't see them at all. Period. And it was, eventually we started walking home. Um, and at this point, as we're walking home, we're seeing people coming. Just the Brooklyn Bridge is just absolutely swamped. Absolutely swamped. People are walking. They're coming home. They're leaving the city, and the bridge is absolutely packed. Everyone's walking home, trying to get away from the city. And there are more things that I mentioned on the video that I made last year. If you want to go check it out. But yeah, like even you remember what I remember after that period of time. It seemed like everyone was respectable to each other. Seemed like people were actually nice to each other. It seemed like people were actually trying to give each other a hand and had a little bit more patience with each other. And everyone for that period of time seemed like it seemed like New York was working together as a family, and you had no petty arguments going on around that time. You even heard it even seemed like as if crime in the city had stopped. Even like the criminals, the hardened, POS, criminals, career criminals were hardened, and they were shooken up by what happened, and even they decided to just, you know, to behave and not cause any trouble. So, and it was like that. The city just, felt like it was, together. They were working for a common cause. It seemed like. Uh, Undivided. Everyone had a common goal, and eventually, that stuff just started, fading away, and the city just went back to being the city. I guess yeah, you might say back to normal everyday life, but it's to me it has taken a turn for the worse, seemingly. Every year after 9/11, it's just been getting worse, and we really need to kind of rewind to 20 years ago, where everyone for that period of time, through tragedy, seemed like they were closer, and we were loving each other and how quickly, we often say the terminology never forget, but how quickly people have forgotten, and we treat each other like complete nonsense, which is not the way to go. at all. I don't think, and that's just where I was 20 years ago. From what I understand, um, and I just 9/11. Just watched various stories of survivors, and it's again, it's something that you do not forget. You do not forget many years later. Um, Now, did want to step out here for a quick second. Wanted to take a quick break. I do want to leave you with, as I return, I wanted to kind of show you or play a video from that I uploaded recently, and maybe you go try to to grab take a look at the actual video. Um, so we're gonna do. Um, we're actually gonna do Biggie Smalls Bette Stuyvesant tour, and we'll be right back. Take a look at it. Take a listen to it. A lot of hipsters. The neighborhood has been cleaned up now, and a lot different. And this is the home of Biggie Smalls, on my personal opinion, the Mount Rushmore, greatest rappers of all time. Here is his mural. So the story went with this mural a couple of years ago back. The owner wanted to do upgrades due to increased property value in the area. So he wanted to do upgrades that we could raise the rent. Now the renovations, the upgrades would have added new windows, which would have forced the mural to be destroyed. And a pension to name the notorious painting a landmark protected its removal gained more than 3,000 signatures before the initiative was halted at the request of Spread Art New York City. And at that point, due to thanks from several rappers, kind of helped save this. Check out Biggie freestyle. So if you've seen or heard of the Biggie freestyle, right across the street, it's no longer a corner bodega grocery store, it's a coffee shop. Right next door to that, as you can see. That was So I'm gonna change things up here just a little bit. Working here on this. One second, our mic is falling. Anything that you could expect to go wrong on a live stream usually will. So that's live streaming 101 for you guys. But you know, we're gonna try to prevail. We're gonna try to be here professionals and prevail. Am I right? Or am I right? We have no choice but to. Changing topics here. Let me read you the story that I found off the interweb, internet, as we like to say here. A pair of Chicago newlyweds have gone viral after sending an invoice to wedding guests who RSVP'd yes and didn't show up. The damage, a $240 bill to cover the cost of two people. So Doug Simmons and Deborah Simmons have received both praise and backlash on social media for sending the invoice. The two tied the knot at the Royalton Resort and Spa in Jamaica. There you go. That's going to be a little pricey. It's going to be a pricey wedding, according to the New York Post. Here's what some of the people have said, and well, let me give you my thoughts on this. Bravo. Like, this is not some type of a wedding where, you know, it's only, you go in there, you know, this is a wedding at a location that's one of these, you know, fancy spancy places. And we know how fancy spancy places go for. They are very expensive. Now, truth be told, a lot of people that do weddings in these fancy spancy places do not have that type of money. They are relying, you know, if you ever have a reception, it doesn't even have to be a marriage, it could be something else, but the ideal goal is to cover the cost of having the guests and then making a little bit of a profit. That's the honest truth there. And, you know, you're paying, it is your job on a lot of these places. At least, you know, when I got married, you know, years ago now, you are not paying, you're paying for this person's plate. You have to give a number as to how many people are coming. RSVP by such and such date. Well, the reason why you are RSVPing by such and such date is because the married couple here, they need to give the information to the banquet manager. That way, that way the banquet hall could prepare and getting your food and everything in a timely order. Now, if these people said yes and they did not come, then by all means, bravo in RSVP. Now let me take that back. If there is a unforeseen circumstance that's reasonable, and it has every reason why they have to cancel, it's a valid reason, then by all means, listen, stuff happens. But if it's non-emergency, just decided, you know what, I'm not spending the money to travel. I'm not spending the money to go on to buy a new dress. No, thank you. I changed my mind. Well, then that person now, because you decided not to go, that person now is responsible for that plate. And now that's money lost because you decided that you are no longer interested in coming. That is a problem. And listen, you might, it goes both ways, right? If you have the audacity to not decide not to go last minute after the RSVP date, after you told them yes, then you might be losing, you might have some serious explaining to do to your family member. Same regards too, if you're a family member and you are charging them for a canceled RSVP, you might be, in an argument with this relative or this close friend, or you might be in some type of an argument, and it might be a little bit uncomfortable for both sides. Now, granted, who's right or wrong? Well, it depends on who's looking at it and how certain people feel. But, geez, that's a tough spot, and that's a situation where, listen, if you're canceling for no, if you're canceling after the RSVP, that's for no apparent reason, that's not cool. And people are losing money. I think at this stage of the game, I think everyone knows that. Maybe they don't, but I think everyone knows that money is being lost if you decide to cancel after you're coming in saying that you will come. So here are some of what people said. So I would do it. I would do it and see what happens. Well, it depends to who it is. Some people said yes. Why? Because I went out my way to pay for the wedding, and for that person not to show up is very disrespectful. Why should I throw away money? Not that shit. Yeah, because if the bride and groom has paid for your place to be at the wedding and you don't show up, then yes, I'll make you pay as well, because they would have reserved it for someone else. Okay, there you go. Another person says, listen, you said yes, all was done to accommodate you. Even if you still have a valid excuse, be mindful and still send a couple monetary gift, even if not the full amount, something. That's a good point. A good point. Another person says, I wouldn't bill. That's tacky. I feel when planning events of any scale, you should always expect some folks not to show and budget plan accordingly. That comment got 3 likes. Someone else said absolutely would do the same thing. As they said, it's not about the money, it's about accountability and respect for other people. I'm sure it costs them per head, especially if the occasion was catered. And if you make a commitment to show up and cannot honor it, at least you could do is offer an apology, explanation, or you have some decency. Another person says, if you plan a huge, expensive wedding, you're doing it to get money and gifts in return. I feel it sucks if someone doesn't show after they said they would, but it's tacky to try and get their money from them. It's your choice to have an expensive wedding. You planned for it. You paid for it. There you go. How about that? A naked woman, 28, drove golf cart through a scene of an armed standoff. Cops say a naked woman. Oh, we'll get to that story. A naked woman on a midnight golf cart joyride was arrested early Saturday while when she drove through a police perimeter in, you guessed it, Florida. Cops say while officers were involved in an armed standoff with a teen. Good old Florida. Good old Florida. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Write a sad story. Let's play along. Write a sad story in 4 words. Only 4 words. Sad story. Hmm. Sad story. Here's some. There are no tacos left. No tacos left. That's pretty damn sad. I have the crabs. Is another one. She broke my heart. Ran out of Tito's. Mm. Another one. Jeez. A lot of these are very tragic. I thought these were like supposed to be like more like, jeez. Yeah, we're not gonna. Jeez, write a sad story in 4 words only. We're not gonna dive right into that. Now we take it back. The year is 1997. Let's go back to 1997. And AOL Instant Messenger was just released. Ah, do we remember AOL Instant Messenger? What was your first screen name? Your first screen name on AOL. How about that for reminding? My first screen mail on AOL was Ultima Kid 97. Hmm. Some people still have their AOL email, the best and secure too. Some had Coco TSB, NYC Finest 79, Finger 87, BJ Laptity 21. You know, I still have an AOL email too. Now that I think about it. Boop, 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 boop. Some people still use AOL. Anastasia 71, Eminem Girl 385, Baby Sexy, or Baby Blue Eyes. You remember those names? The days of the AOL chat rooms, man. And I remember them because, you know, as a teenager, what do? You, during that time, you stayed on AOL to 3 o'clock in the morning, chatting it up with other AOLers and teenagers who should be going to school, college, but rather not, and they rather do other things like send chain mails. Now this is just completely off of his and saying send chain mails and IMs and do private rooms and all this stuff, man. So yeah, AOL was fun. I remember in New York here, it was AOL Italian place and Italian hotties. Don't ask me how that room name came about. It was member created rooms. And I think off of AOL, this is how, I don't know if it's a whole different world now, but back then, geez, we used to meet everyone. Everyone and everyone used to meet each other from AOL. Geez, I think I met probably, and this is not a lot because I was a shy kid there, but I think I met like close to 10 people off of AOL, which is just insane. I don't think people are doing that now anymore, right? I don't know what do kids do. I don't think what are teenagers doing now anyway. I don't think they're doing much of anything, to be perfectly honest with you. Jeez. Yeah, but days of AOL when you had the IM sound and you had the chain mails and you had the profile where you would, try to act all tough and cool. And who didn't have a webcam? Because, geez, once you go off and you take the interview and you take the chat into a webcam, well, you might be lucky. You might be lucky. The days of AOL and AOL meeting people, and then next thing you know, your boyfriend and girlfriend, and then instead of talking on the phone, be like, I'll meet you on AOL. And, back then, gotta make sure you connected on AOL with the local number. You didn't want the out of state or long distance number because that's where you would get charged through what number you called. In addition to the monthly fee that you paid. And kids nowadays, this age, have no idea as to what we're talking about. Yeah, but AOL chat messenger, and then like I said, you created Italian place, Italian hotties, and there were also other member created rooms. And you just go in there and you would have a blast. You'd have a blast. from that stemmed a lot of other weird stuff. But that's another time and another place. I do want to thank you for tuning in to Live with Gres. This has been a little bit of a cluster. But I just wanted to touch base real quick, talk about a few things. Have to figure out what's wrong. How come my setup just got completely demolished here? But I thank you for taking the time to watch Live with Gres. I hope all is well, guys, and look out for videos coming up on this channel. I'm working on actually editing one. It's going to be probably at least a longer form video, about 45 minutes or so. It's a drive along video. I don't know if you guys like that. I know a lot of people do walking videos. This is more of a drive along video. I think it's a cool video. You'll like it. It should be out this week. I'm working on it now, putting it together. So I hope all is well, guys. Until next time, mahalo.